Yeah, it's kind of funny. No sheriff can't do a damn thing without a court order.
Yeah.
You know, that was ridiculous. She said,
yeah, where's that lady that doesn't listen? She gone now?
No, I just thought it was funny because she said she has difficulty filing. You have difficulty filing, you do what I did 7 years ago. You sue the court clerk.
Yeah.
Denying access to the court. That's all you do. Next thing you know, the Attorney General's going to call you up and say, go ahead and file.
Right. I get it.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Then she said something about, well, she told the judge to do something. You don't talk to a judge. Even Gus told people that a million times. You don't talk to a judge.
The judge cannot hear you.
Talk to the man.
Well, can't hear a man anyway.
Yeah, then she said something crazy like, well, then she looked over at the sheriff and told the sheriff to go do it. Sheriff won't do a damn thing without a court order. She's not in court. She didn't have her own court going. He's just going to look at her and say, lady, you crazy.
She said she did everything you said exactly how you said it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
That's nearly impossible. I haven't heard of anybody that did it exactly.
Even I don't do exactly what I say I'm going to do, exactly where I'm going to do it.
How true is that?
Yeah, nobody can. That's ridiculous.
Hey, I got a new question, change directions a little bit. I'm in Los Angeles, just so you know. I rent a house. My landlord is really cool. A code inspector came by because I borrowed my neighbor's tractor to level out some land so my horses could walk around safely. And they hit my landlord up with code violations and put a lien on the property. So, and now it's kind of souring my relationship with my landlord, who's really cool. But I don't know what to do about this son of a bitch code inspector.
Well, your landlord's going to love you once you solve this problem.
Right.
The big thing is that you're going to have to be considered to be the acting agent for your landlord, because your landlord will never do what needs to be done.
He did. My landlord did give me a letter of authorization to handle and be responsible for everything that goes on in the property.
Yeah, then what you're going to have to do then is you're going to have to write to the code enforcement officer and say, are you the man who wrote this, who wrote up this lien in regards to my property?
Okay.
That's what you do. Just say, are you the man who wrote the documents, including the lien to my property?
Well, I'm going to write that. I'm going to say it's my property.
Yeah, well, you can say you're the representative. You can say you're the trustee.
Okay, right. Okay, so I did everything right from the start. I got that authorization in writing, and I already sent it to that SOB about a year ago, and they backed off. They, disappeared, and now all of a sudden they're on them again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just maybe somebody, like I said, all you got to do is let them see that you're the trustee of that property. And all you got to do is say, are you the man who wrote these documents and who put a lien on my property?
Great. Okay, now I know they're going to ignore it, and then What do I do after that?
I'm going to ignore it. I just wrote one for my mom. They responded for about 2 weeks.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yep. And he said he's the person who wrote the letters. So obviously, what do I got to write back?
Who's the man I should talk to solve this problem?
But I'm not looking for the person. I'm looking for a man.
Right.
That's a simple question. I said, are you the person who sent this document? See attached. Kind regards. Kind regards. And then I put my mom's name on the top. And she was the property owner. And my name was on the bottom. Karl Lentz as the trustee. And he wrote back a letter and just said something simple as, I'm the person who sent those documents. And he said he'll either talk to my mom, Pat, or talk to the representative of Pat, Karl Lentz. So, all
right, I'm going to hit him up with that. I have to tell you, in previous communications.
And I didn't want to do a phone call because my mom said, well, why don't we just go down and talk to him? I said, because it would be the most ridiculous conversation you ever saw. I said to my mom, I said, because what's going to happen if we go down there, I'm going to put everything in writing, and I'm going to get him to put everything in writing. So we're just going to be sitting at his desk, and he's going to try to talk to me. I say, can you please put that in writing? My hearing is not so good. And he's going to put it in writing, and then we're saying, please sign it. Then I'm going to write it to him. He's going to say, no, you can just talk to me. My hearing is good. No, that's fine. This is all going to be in writing. And I'm going to just keep writing back and forth from across the desk. I said to my mom, if you want to go down there and see what I do, you're going to think this is the most bizarre shit you've ever seen in your life. Because I I will not speak to a person. I will always speak to a man. I will not speak to a person. Will not happen. It will never happen.
Got it.
I'm going to call the lady tomorrow. I might do a show with her tomorrow. I might just do a show with me and her. Keep everybody out of the background noise down, and just let everybody listen to it some other time. But I talked to her for a couple of hours already about a month ago, and I think she was having a hard time trying to understand the simplicity of it, and I think somebody said to me that she panicked and started to just throw everything at it when it wasn't working. It's funny when a lot of people don't realize when it's working and it is working. That, like when you're saying things and the judge is just looking down at his paper, or the prosecutor's just shuffling through his paper when you're talking. Yeah, they're listening to you. Yeah, the big thing is that, like I said, the term. Somebody said that she panicked, and then once she panicked, she got off of that. This is my property, and I remember she said something to me that the judge asked us, oh, you've been cooperating with us, you've been so nice to us all along. Why all of a sudden the change, Because and I told her, so what did you say? She said she didn't say anything. I said, why didn't you just say? And I just realized that was my property. And I didn't realize all along that was my property, and nobody else, including you, sir, has any right to say anything. What can I do with my property? So when the judge just asked a simple question, why all of a sudden change? Why don't you just say, well, I just came to the realization that all along you are trying to talk about my property, and no man or no woman on planet Earth could talk about my property without my consent, and I don't give you consent to talk about my property. And she just dropped the ball. I was like, wow, lady, it could have all been over if you just knew the next line to say. The judge asked you a nice, simple question. He just lobbed you a nice little simple shot over the net, and why don't you just shoot it right back and just say, why all of a sudden the big change? It's I finally realized what it was to be a man. I finally realized what it meant to be a woman and the possessor of property, the owner of property, or the controller of property. I said, why don't you just say that? He asked you, what's the big change? Just say the big change is I finally realized what the hell's going on. I finally realized, holy shit, who the hell are you people to determine what's going to happen with my property? You're a man, I'm a man. No man can tell another man what to do with his property. What's supposed to say? Because she dropped the ball. I said, well, what did you say? She said, I don't know what to say. I said, well, then he obviously knew you weren't a man and you were a pretender and you were trying to scam the court and trying to trick the court and trying to fake it. I said, if you just dropped the right shot over the net, it would have been over. But nope. I said, God wants you to keep playing the game. And I said, you're not ready. And honestly, I don't think she's ready because I asked her a simple question. I said, what happened? I said, look, you understand society. And I said, I'm not just saying it's just white people's society. I'm saying you got to understand society. They're going to be very afraid of you that you have two black boys who are going to grow up and they got no dad and no discipline, no monitoring of these boys. And they're going to be 15, 16, 17-year-olds soon, like a kid in Missouri or St. Louis. And, what happens if your kids grab a grocery store clerk like that kid did in Missouri and start shaking the guy and steals cigars and has tattooed on his forehead, "Live for life"? What are you going to do? I said, are you going to bear liability when these kids start, going to jail and these kids start roughing up people in the street? Are you going to bear liability for their actions? And she said to me, no, I'm not going to be responsible for their actions. I said, that's the ego, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Society's scared. Society's tired of the parents not wanting to be liable for their actions of their children. I said, so if you won't control your kids, society will control your kids. And I said, it's kind of, sad, but somebody's got to do the job. If you don't want to do it, and they don't have a dad, who do you think should have to tolerate? When they go out and they don't know how to act in public. We were just talking about that. These three guys, these two guys and me, three of us were talking, and I said, look, I went to court 29 times, and then the 30th time they finally told me, 29 times I'd ask, I went through 9 attorneys, my wife had 8, and we asked a simple question all the time, what are we charged with? I said, how would you people like to go to court 29 times, and the first question comes out of your mouth all the time, so what are we charged with? And they won't answer you. They won't tell you if you're charged with anything. It's like, to say, ask your lawyer. What do you mean ask a lawyer? And I'd stand right there and say, lawyer, what am I charged with? He said, I don't know. They've never told me. I said, how would you like to go to court 29 times and ask the simple question to the judge, can you make the state tell me what I'm charged with? And then the judge would say, okay, state, what is he charged with? It's like, tell me, ask his attorney. And I'd stand, ask the attorney, all right, attorney, what am I charged with? It's like, I don't know, they'll never tell me. And I said to these guys, how do you think frustrating that must have been? But not one time did I show any emotion. Not one time did I get held in contempt of court. Not one time did I panic. Not one time did I raise my voice. Not one time did I make a face. You couldn't tell if I was an attorney. You couldn't tell me if I was a prosecutor. You couldn't tell if I was the judge. You couldn't tell if I was the bailiff. I just acted in public like everybody else. And I said to the lady, will your boys act like a defendant? Or will they act like a prosecutor? Will they act like a judge? No, they'll act like a bunch of crazy little defendants. They'll be jumping up and down. They'll be nervous. They'll be cursing or upset or crying. Or, lady, you got to teach them how to act in public. I knew how to act in a court setting. I knew how to act in public. So when I got to court, and they were going to tell me 29 times, was I charged? Why are you holding my kids? Can you tell me why you're holding my kids? Ask your lawyer. Lawyer, why are they holding my kids? I don't know. They won't tell me. And I say to the judge, this is bullshit. And not one time did I ever curse. Not one time did I say, does anybody see what the hell's going on here? Does anybody realize what's going on? Not one time did I throw a temper tantrum or make a face. Or like I said, this lady's like, oh, I said, well, the judge said he won't do it. So she looked over at the sheriff and told the sheriff, you go get my kid. Oh, please, lady. You know, what makes you think Carl would do something like that? I didn't tell the judge, well, judge, if you won't do it, I'll go get my own damn kids. Or, judge, if you won't do it, I'll let the bailiff go get them. Well, I'll have the sheriff's department go get them. I'm not telling her that ain't that nonsense. So like I said, you know, if you want to work through the court system, you have to get an order. And back then, I didn't know how to just establish my own court. It took me a long time. I knew what they were doing was wrong. I knew common law. But what I did not know how to do was make my own court. That I did not know how to do. Until, like I said, one judge told me, he says, you just leave family court. Don't ever come back. He said, trust me. He says, you just want to get a ruling today. Let me rule against you. He says, take it to the appellate court, overturn me. But he says, honestly, you don't want to overturn me. You just want to find out why they have your kid. And they'll have to tell the appellate court the truth. They'll have to tell the appellate court why they have the kid. They won't tell me. But they will have to tell the Supreme Court what's going on down here. And then when you find out that information, just stop the appeal. Just say, that's all I needed to know. He said, so all that's going to happen is you're going to win the appeal, and all they're going to do is say, send it back down to me. He says, you'll never get out of family court. He says, man, you just don't ever want to come back here. Just let me put a ruling against you. He says, appeal me, find out why they took your kid, find out where the exact contract is and exactly what it says. He says, and then as soon as you find that information, if you look in, people always say, oh, I look in PESA for Carl stuff. Why don't you guys look in Alabama Court of Appeals? And why don't you see Carl dismissed his appeal? Not the judge didn't dismiss it. Not the prosecutor. I was the prosecutor on the appeal. Not the state of Alabama didn't ask to have it dismissed. I asked to have it dismissed. I think it's under Rule 41 when the prosecutor wants to have the case dismissed. And I wanted it dismissed because I got all the information I needed. The judge told me, and the court clerk, the head of the Supreme Court clerks told me, John Wilkerson Jr., he just retired a year or two ago, he told me, call the appellate court and the Supreme Court is a con game. He says, a total sham. He said, just get what information you need from us and get the hell out of here. He said, because all that's going to happen, you're going to get a ruling, whether it's for you or against you. He said, say it's for you, Carl. All it's going to do is going to send it right back down to the family court. You're wasting your time. You're going to go right through the family court nonsense again. You're going to appeal it again. He says, Carl, this could take 15, 16 years easy. He says, you're wasting your time. You know, so I never understood. Nobody ever said to me, but Carl, what you need to do is establish your own court. See, when he dropped that little golden nugget in my lap. All I was told was, you know, one day when you learn how to be a man, it'll all make sense to you. And then I learned, holy crap, I got to make my own court. That's what they think they're trying to tell me. But they wouldn't tell me straight up like I'm you people, and if you people don't appreciate what I tell you, go F yourselves. Because it took me a long time to figure out just what the hell they were saying. And I just started laughing when I finally figured it out. Now I get it. I got to make my own damn court. I get it. Now it makes sense. Now I got to make my own court. Okay, how do I make a court? And then I studied how to make a court. No big deal. It's easy. You guys are just making it two-way and complicated by listening to some wackadoos. And this guy wackad like Bill Norton. I mean, that's just some crazy effing shit. I don't know any of that crap. Make your own court. I had Jesse make a court. Had some Spanish lady make her own court who barely spoke English. Had a little Brian Bonner, third grade education, make a court. 4 or 5 lines. That's all he needed. You Tarzan, you Jane steal bone. Get back bone. There's the wrongdoer. There's the prosecutor. There's the caption. There's the wrong of the trespass. There's the claim. Bone's missing. Robbery. There's the order. Get back bone. There you go. That's the whole entire court. That's everything. I just named the prosecutor, the wrongdoer. I said the caption. I said it was a trespass. I said it was a robbery. I said what happened. She stole a bone. She robbed me a bone. Give back bone. There's the order. There you go. There's a whole complete lawsuit, a whole complete court. What more is wrong with you people than you can't understand? It's that simple. I don't have a clue, and I can't beat you guys in the head and get this through your skulls. It's that simple. And that's all I do to get people back to their kids. And if you guys take it off the crazy train path somewhere and you go the wrong direction, it was like, Carl, the judge wouldn't look at me. Carl, the judge wouldn't answer me. Carl, the judge wouldn't do this. Carl, the judge wouldn't do that. You ask them a simple question. Hey, judge, do you hear me? Hey, sir, are you listening? Hey, sir, do you see what I'm saying? And like they happened in England, they said no. And Volley said, see, they're effing with us, Carl. They're doing it again. I said, no. He's saying he doesn't see what we're saying. Maybe he doesn't understand what we're saying. Not that he doesn't see it. That's why he sees it. He said he just can't admit that he sees it. He can't admit he understands it. It's too simple. He can't admit it. Because then he'd be liable as a man. I said, you don't understand. I wouldn't see it either if I was in Volley. If you asked me, Carl, do you see this? And I'm the judge. Hell no, I don't see shit from a man. I don't see a damn thing. Hell no, you tell me you're a man. I don't see a damn, I don't hear nothing, I don't see nothing, I'll look the other way until you shut the hell up. You shut the hell up, man. I want to take back over. Oh, well. I know the rules of the game. Don't know the rules of the game? Ain't my damn problem. I tell you that, how many hundreds of these things have I done? How many times I say it on every damn show? And that's why I get pissed off after a while, man. I didn't mind taking off 6 months and not doing a show. Because when I came on, I let my sister basically do it because she could see, like I said, what's happening in a lawless society, like, say, the Indian nation. What happens when you don't have a man in a blue light in your rearview mirror? And I let her explain to you people. And she was one of these people that loved Indians and had all this Indian nonsense and dream catches, all this Indian pain. Oh, my God. I was like, you know what? Why don't you guys go live with them and see what it's like to live without a blue light in your rear window? And see how much you appreciate having that man in a blue light in your back window, making everybody behave and stop for lights and not drink and drive. So go listen to last week's show, and my sister talked for about half an hour. Go if you didn't listen to last week's show, man. That was a hell of a good thing that she said, because you guys don't take me serious, I don't think. Don't believe what I'm saying. I'm embellishing or making this shit up because I was married to an American Indian. No. Go listen to my sister. She's a school teacher out there now, and she'll tell you what it's like to drive around in a Navajo nation compared to driving in a white area. She's like, you take your life in your own hands because nobody stops the stop signs. If they feel like it, they do. If they don't, they don't. You know, nothing's going to happen to them. They don't have insurance. They don't have no driver's license. They drink and drive. You know, she says it's crazy. You just have to know to drive on the even streets because the Indians have the odd number streets. So she said you just got to be careful when what street you're on, an odd and even number. So go listen to that show last week. And that's what I try to tell you people. If you people learn how to do this stuff, how to get out of every single freaking ticket, get out of every single DUI case, and everybody else in the country learns how to do this, I said it's funny. It'd probably be funny, like the country probably like be a democracy, and half the people would vote for driver's license, the other people would vote not to have it. So it'd be like an Indian thing that they got to. How do you think they got it set up in Gallup? It must have happened like that at one time. Half the streets were patrolled by police officers, the other half weren't. How would you like if your town was split in half and half the streets were not policed and the other half, were? You guys would be begging to get back on the police sides of the street so fast. You guys would be begging for driver's license and begging for insurance cards and begging for inspection stickers to get back on the side of the street that has the cops patrolling it and making sure everybody behaves and acts decent towards each other, because the human animal very self-centered. Everybody's in a hurry. I don't get in my car to just take a joyride. I get in my car because I'm in a hurry to get somewhere. I want to do something. I want to accomplish something. So I understand why everybody else drives like that too.